Hey everybody, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I'm continuing my series on taking amazing isolated vocal tracks, and next up is Michael Jackson Thriller. If you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel, that would be really cool. And I just want to dive right in now. I want to give you a little bit of backdrop about this and about Michael and just about the recording process back when this was originally recorded, okay? First thing is that Quincy Jones was the producer. He's produced a lot of amazing stuff. You should look him up. One of the greatest R&B producers, and actually, believe it or not, he did a lot of big band stuff even before this and early Jackson 5. Like, Quincy has been around for a long time. He's one of the people that says the music business is dead for lots of reasons, not just the selling of records, but the recording process, how records are made, a lot of the auto-tune, a lot of the sampling, a lot of the cut and paste of choruses from one chorus to another and so forth. But it's kind of interesting because there's a little bit of something like that in a more organic way that's happening here. Now, whether it's Michael Jackson or one of the great artists back in the day, which I'll talk about that in a minute because I want to get sidetracked, I want to play this, but they would do something called comp tracks. And what is a comp track? Well, if you notice here on my screen, I'm not sure if you can see it, maybe you can't, but you see a lot of tracks or takes of the song. Now, a lot of times we think that the song is going to be really organic and he's just, vibing and whatever comes out, comes out. Some music's like that, not very much. But I say that because like Barbra Streisand, she's another one that would just do like maybe 10, 12, 15, 20 takes where she'd run through the whole song or sections of the song. They recorded a bunch of times and then would take little pieces of it and put it all together like a puzzle and arrange it to get the best total performance possible. That is precisely what's happened here. So I have, I think 7 different takes of Thriller, and believe it or not, there were more than that. There were a couple of that were just the demo versions. But I want you to see how non-organic or not necessarily spontaneous that the song was, and you're going to see that in a minute. So I'm going to start with the track number 1 or take number 1. That's not the original demo take. This is the first take of 7. Okay, and I'm not going to bore you with all 7, but I do want to point out how closely they are, and you probably wouldn't even notice, well, how can I differentiate which was the ultimate take that they used? Well, you'd have to meticulously with a magnifying glass or fine-tooth comb, and go through and see which was why they put it together. Some of it had to do with the rhythm of it. Some of it had to do with wanting something held a little longer than another. Some had to do with pitch, and so forth. So, but it's important for you guys to know that even Michael Jackson, yes, even Michael Jackson, went through this kind of production, okay? And again, Quincy Jones is the producer. Let's just listen to the first track. Here we go.
Ooh, it's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
Cool, that's the first take. They didn't use that take. I'm gonna do the second take, and I wanna show you're gonna go, I don't really hear a difference. But I want you to see this because it's important, because you're gonna say, what's the difference? Check this out. By the way, the same, oh, like even down to the first, oh, is the same. Watch, check it out.
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
Now you can say, well, wait a minute, Ken. I think that's exactly the same as the first one. No, it's not. I'm going to put in the first one. You can hear them both together. Check it out.
Ooh. It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
Okay, that was take number 1 and 2. Let's listen to take number 3. Check it out.
Ooh. It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
That's the one they used, by the way. But I'm going to go to 1718 because they used a part of this one too. My board is 1718. Here's the 7th take, and I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to give you a feel for this, all right?
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
Now, my understanding was that the first, it's close to midnight, was flat. It's close to midnight would be in pitch. And the last track, number 7, wasn't. So they used the track before, they used the first of the last track, and then the rest of it, they kind of pieced a little bit of it together. Now, to prove it again, I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to show you all of them so you can hear, they're all different, you can hear.
Ooh. It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. Yeah.
Cool. Now, I'm going to isolate the tracks as close as I can to the ones they use. I'm assuming that they stopped either on track 7 because they got the takes that they wanted, or most of the takes that they wanted, and then they just comped other things into that track as they saw appropriate. So let me just play just the solo track of the last track, track number 7. Here we go.
Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You start to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it.
Cool. Now, if you notice, I've always thought of Michael as being... all of these like stabs and crazy, frenetic, energetic singing was really spontaneous, but it can't be. It can't be. It's all premeditated. It's all been rehearsed. Otherwise, all of these takes together like this wouldn't sound like this without, or it sound exactly in unison without anything kind of popping out. Check it out.
Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream.
Even those hits are all premeditated. They're all planned out.
But terror takes the sound before you make it.
Except this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's in the original. I think I took that out. But you see what I mean? So, all right, let's continue with just the original track. And mute these guys. Here's the original track, or the last track they recorded.
You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed, 'cause this is still a night, and no one's gonna save you.
Cool. Now, I will hand it to Michael, man. My understanding is, first of all, I know Bruce Wedeen, who recorded a lot of this stuff, along with Quincy Jones and some other friends of mine, was a second engineer on this, another friend of mine, said that they took an SM7. And they took this SM7, which is really a hard mic to get anything directional out of. So this mic is really good. Like I can go way over here and depending on the setting, I can make this all the way around and walk around the microphone and you'd hardly know that I was moving. That's the genius of this mic. So when you see me recording something way over here, hey, he's way off the mic, it can't be recording that. I really am. It just depends on the setting. So I could set it, there's different configurations for the mic. An SM7, there really isn't. It's really directional. So Michael apparently oftentimes would have this mic and they'd kind of have it this far away because they needed some cone, some range of this direction so that when he moved around, there wasn't a lot of movement in the sound of the microphone. So they had to put the microphone a little bit farther back, add some EQ, a lot of compression, 2 different compressors actually. And so he could actually dance, snap his fingers and do all this jive and stuff while he was singing. So Michael was performing while he was singing. So you kind of get the feeling of that when you're listening to this, and no one said you're like, I can feel all this energy, this body energy that he's got going on. That's not contrived. That is really Michael, okay? So I wanted to emphasize that as we're going along here and you guys are checking this out. But all right, let's continue with a view towards that. Here we go.
And no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. Killer night, you're fighting for your life inside a killer night, girl.
Cool. Now on one of the other tracks, this one here, he does something different. He goes,
Ooh.
right? Ooh, hey, hit me, right? And his famous, a few of those, right? All right, so let's continue. I'm going to keep on with the main track here. Let's turn this off. Let's go back to track number 7. Here we go.
You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. Ooh. You feel the cold hand. I wonder if you ever see the sun. You close your eyes and realize that this is imagination, girl.
See? And realize that this is imagination. Did you know that's what he said? And realize this is imagination? You can't really tell the lyrics because it's just about the feel. Now, I talk to my students about this a lot. And, there's the element of correct technical singing. And that's extremely important because we'll lose our voice. It gives us range, it gives us power, it gives us control, it gives us longevity. There's all that. But then there's the element of just vibe. And oftentimes, as I've shared with you guys, I tell my students this all the time, is we really want to pretend that we're an alien from another planet when we start doing this, so that as alien comes down, the alien doesn't care about what you're singing about initially, just from a feel standpoint, a groove and the emotion and soul of it. So don't worry about the lyric. Worry more about the vibe and how it feels in the track and this, that, and then bring in the lyric and the consonants and those things as is necessary to sell the story and to integrate so people know what the song's about. Now, if you listen to, I don't know, a Guns N' Roses song like Paradise City or something, you're going to sit there and you're going to go, oh, is that, you hear my version and then you hear their version and I articulate it a lot more. You're going to say, oh, so that's what the song's about. I can hear when Ken sings it. I can hear what he's saying. When Axel sings it, just slurs right by and all you know is, take me down to the Paradise City where the grass is green. That's kind of what you think of when you do it. So similar here, listen to the lyric, or can you listen?
And if you ever see the sun, you close your eyes and realize that this is imagination, girl. All the while, you hear a creature creeping up behind. You're out of time.
Now, for any of you that are out there says, no, I think this was spontaneous. I think that this was, all of him. I'm going to put the tracks all back again so you can hear how not spontaneous this really was. Check this out. Watch.
But all the while, you hear a creature creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is Daylight night. There ain't no second chance against the thing with 40 eyes, girl. Woo!
See, even down to the woohoos, all this stuff was planned, pre-planned, premeditated, thought out. So I want to get back to this because, and I'm putting some flesh and blood on this stuff, guys, because I know we eulogize people and we kind of worship people. They become our icons, and we've got Michael Jackson icon. Of course, he was absolutely incredible. He spanned 4 decades, unbelievable talent, but they all had to work at it. Quincy made him sing this at least 7 times that we're aware of. Quincy made Michael Jackson sing this 7 times at least that we're aware of, not including the demos, not including the writing process. Okay? So even Michael Jackson has to work at this. So again, I share this with all my students as they get discouraged. I'm going, hey man, because I did hear the demo of this, and it's just kind of lackluster and flat and pitchy all over the place. Really, I'm not kidding. Look it up. You can find it online. There's a guy that has a bunch of these out there, and you can see the original demo of this, and you're going, wow, what a trip. And what it went from and what it became into as an end result and product is phenomenal. But that was with a lot of work, a lot of polishing, right? So I just want to encourage you guys out there as you're doing this. Even Michael Jackson, I'll say it again, has to work at this to get to this level of greatness and perfection, right? All right, let's continue.
You're fighting for your life inside a killer thing. Night creatures calling the dead start to walk in this masquerade.
Now, I know what the lyrics are, but can you make out the lyric on this?
Night creatures calling the dead start to walk in this masquerade. There's no escaping the jaws of the alien this time. This is the end of your life. Oh!
Now, one more thing. A lot of people don't think of Michael Jackson as a riffer. He has a lot of runs and riffs. He just didn't use them that much. I'm not kidding. He had a lot of really cool, very quick, snappy, riffs and runs that he did. But the music that was produced for him, songs he bought, songs that he wrote, songs that were produced, really were more about the song than about riffing. So he did some here and there, but he didn't go crazy with it like a Mariah Carey or Ariana Grande or something. He was very conservative. Now, Stevie Wonder, on the other hand, because there's a lot of similarity in some of the sounds sounds in some of the presentation, you can hear Stevie, right? Can you? Stevie's got a bigger sound, but you can hear some cross influence. The reason I bring that up is Stevie's was more natural. So even when Stevie riffed, and he was sort of the godfather of male riffing, he did it appropriately, and it wasn't gratuitous. It wasn't just for the sake of riffing. It was part of his personality. He would just throw it in wherever it kind of felt good, and that was Stevie. Whereas a lot of people came along and said it's all about the riffing, and then preoccupied themselves with more about riffs than the actual song. So Michael stood by the integrity of the melodies themselves. So I think that's awesome, and that's appropriate.
They're out to get you. There's demons closing in on every side.
I like the clearing of the throat there. Listen.
They will possess you unless you change that number on your dial. There is the time for you and I to cuddle close together. Yeah. All through the night, I'll save you from the terror on the screen. I'll make you see.
Now, to emphasize this one more time about how I know that this was all worked up, he's pushing on the front of the beat so much on these riffs that the only possible way, unless he's just got a memory of who knows, a beyond genius, to come back and do this again. Listen how much he's pushing on the front side of all these. Check this out.
All through the night, I'll save you from the terror on the screen.
I'll save you from the terror on the screen. Right, now let's put in all the vocals again. Whoops, is it?
You're fighting for...
Oh, I went to the wrong section here. Where'd I go?
All through the night.
There we go. Okay, so let's go here. Now I'm going to put these in, and I want you to hear this. Check this out.
All through the night, I'll save you from the terror on the screen. I'll make you see that this is their love.
See what I mean? So you can't possibly have been able to have gotten those unison on those that close unless you rehearsed exactly how you wanted to do it. Now, a lot of bands did stuff like that, like Hall & Oates. I refer to them a lot because they did a lot of push and pull against the rhythms, kind of like this, where they'd sing really far in front of the beat. There were other bands that did it too, but I bring it up because the only way to get that is through rehearsing it over and over and over again, right? So again, even Michael Jackson had to rehearse all this stuff. Let's continue. Here we go.
Night, 'cause I can thrill you more than any ghost could ever dare try.
Do you have any idea what he just said? I don't. Okay.
So let me hold you tight and share a killer. Ow! Ow!
By the way, did you hear the ow? Ow! Right? Listen, check it out.
Ow! Ow! 'Cause this is dinner.
By the way, it's really pitchy here, so they probably used a different take of this. Listen.
'Cause this is dinner.
He's really sharp on the track compared to the other stuff, right?
Till night, girl, I can feel you more than any ghost would ever dare try. Woo-hoo. So let me hold you tight and share up, Della, ow!
Okay, and then there's another track that has this other bit here. So they used, he did like all the howling stuff. And then there's this other track here that he did these parts. This is a different track altogether.
I'm gonna throw you tonight. Ooh, baby, I'm gonna throw you tonight. Oh, darling, I'm gonna throw you tonight.
Now, finally, I understood what he said on the third line. I'm gonna thrill you tonight.
Ooh, baby, I'm gonna throw you tonight. Ooh, baby. Ooh.
Ooh. Vince Appeal doing the narration on that. I remember hearing Michael do a really cool riff, and the riff was something like, like some really fast thing. I'll break that down at some point, and I'll do a little video tutorial on riffs and runs so we can kind of work on that together. But anyway, gang, like I said, if you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. I have a singing course if you're interested. It's called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where I have a free singing forum with a lot of singers over there talking about how to get good like this at singing. So thank you for joining me, and definitely stick around for my next video. I'm gonna sing.